Hello, I am Jackie, and you are listening to Jackie Teaches English. This podcast is designed to help English learners improve their listening skills, gain new vocabulary, and learn more about the English-speaking world. Want to read along with the audio? Go to JackieTeachesEnglish.com, where you will find a transcript of this episode. Without further ado, let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode. We're at the end of January, and the excitement of Christmas and New Year has officially worn off. If you're like me, you may have experienced some post-Christmas blues, that feeling of sadness and regret that the holiday period is over. In fact, the third Monday in January is dubbed Blue Monday and is labeled the most depressing day of the year. If you dub something, it means that you give it an unofficial name or nickname. For example, Elvis was dubbed the King. Well, there's a Monday dubbed Blue Monday because supposedly everyone feels really sad, tired, and fed up. You may be asking yourself, how can a day be described as blue? In English, if someone is blue, it means that they are sad or depressed. We also use the noun the blues to describe this feeling. Maybe you're familiar with Elton John's classic. I guess that's why they call it the blues. But some people refuse to let the realities of adult responsibilities, cold weather, and short days get them down. These people indulge their inner child and use creativity, imagination, and play to keep their blues at bay. Let's spend a moment longer on that last phrase, keep their blues at bay. If you keep something at bay, it means that you prevent it from approaching or having an effect. Regular exercise can keep stress at bay. Doctors prescribe medicine to keep infections at bay. And some people buy and play with toys to keep their blues at bay. And who are these people? They have been affectionately dubbed Kidults, a combination of the words kid and adult. You might already be familiar with this concept. Perhaps you know a Kidult. Perhaps you are a Kidult. I'll be honest and tell you that I am a self-professed Kidult too. Self-professed is just a fancy way of saying that you admit something openly or that you announce something about yourself. The politician is a self-professed supporter of tax cuts, or my brother is a self-professed video game addict. Well, I am a self-professed Kidult, and in today's episode, we are going to explore this social phenomenon and see how this has changed the market. The term Kidult was first coined in the 1950s by the TV industry in order to describe an adult who enjoyed watching children's TV programs. Now the term is expanded to include any adult who enjoys doing and buying things that were originally intended for children, and this is on the rise. According to a recent BBC article, Kidults account for 18% of all toy sales on the market. And in the 2021 Toy Association survey, 58% of adult respondents had purchased a toy for themselves. So if you are a self-professed Kidult, you are not alone. So why the rise? Some point to COVID-19 as the driving force behind this. During the pandemic, we couldn't leave the house, but for many continuing to work from home, they had extra cash to burn. Don't take the phrase to burn literally. No one is setting fire to their money, but that is the image I want you to have. If you have something to burn, it means that you have a large amount of it, an excess of it. With all this extra money, many adults rediscovered the joys of playing board games, building models, playing with construction blocks like Lego, and collecting memorabilia of their favorite films and TV shows. There's also the fact that social trends are shifting. People are delaying those traditional adult milestones in life, buying a house, getting married, having children. Again, this means that a lot of people have more disposable income to work with, and so they find fun things to spend their money on. And of course, there is the nostalgia of it all. Toys and games allow us to escape from the complexities of the modern life, from the constant notifications on our smart devices to the doom scrolling on social media. Rediscovering the toys from our youth transports us back to a simpler time, and we can tap into activities that bring us joy. I've used a nice little idiom here. To tap into something means to use something to achieve a good result. For example, a teacher taps into his or her students' interests to make their lessons more interesting. Well, we can tap into toys and games to relieve stress and relive our childhood. What's interesting is that Kidults have changed the toy market. Lego now produces building sets aimed at over 18s. We are experiencing a huge surge of memorabilia linked with TV and film, from Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, and more. Fans are willing to part with hundreds of dollars to collect limited edition figurines, replica props, and other merchandise. Companies like Mattel, the famous makers of the Barbie doll, have a page of their website dedicated to Gifts for Kidults, where you can buy collector dolls at prices out of the typical child's price range. Remember adult coloring books? Those were all the rage about 10 years ago and remain popular to this day. By the way, all the rage is an idiom that means that something is very popular or trendy at the moment. Something else that is currently all the rage: plushies. These soft plush toys in the form of cute animals, comic book heroes, and anime characters line children's and kidults' bedroom shelves alike. So we should probably ask the question, is it healthy to be a kidult? As with all lifestyle choices, maybe moderation is best. It can be detrimental if it becomes an unhelpful coping mechanism or prevents personal growth. A little bit of vocabulary here. A coping mechanism is a strategy used to manage difficult emotions and situations. You probably don't want to become such a kidult that you suffer from what's called the Peter Pan syndrome, a psychology term for people who have difficulty accepting adult responsibility. It's named after the fictional character Peter Pan, who, as you know, never grows up. So, I said earlier this episode that I'm a kidult. I love getting a Lego set to build at Christmas. I have a few figurines from films that I love. I enjoy video games as much as any kid. But I also have a job, pay my bills, do my laundry, and take care of my 2 dogs. So I think that I'm doing okay. And on the flip side, being a kidult can be great for your mental health and is a super form of self-care. Kidults can often relate to teenagers and children and have fun playing games with them, so it's a great way to bridge the generations. And as the old proverb popularized by Stanley Kubrick's film The Shining, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and nobody wants to be dull, now do they? And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed this episode on Kidults, and I hope that it has reawakened your inner child. And now I want to ask you a couple of questions. What was your favorite toy growing up? And would you say that you are a kidult now? Let me know by leaving a comment. Remember that you can access the annotated transcript for this episode, along with information about online English lessons with me on my website, JackieTeachesEnglish.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to rate it and follow me on your podcast app. This helps more English learners find us. Have a wonderful, fun-filled day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time. Bye!